Genie grind and watch him get rich, huh? Remember when I said I hit a lick, huh? I don't really wanna fuck the bitch, what? Willie went and made another hit, okay, like Prada on my motherfucking kid, huh? Louis on my motherfucking hip, huh? Curry how I dunk, no switch, hey, fucking gonna fuck that bitch, hey, if you ain't gon' fuck with me, you a dumb fuck, put up a hit but feel like one punch, look at my bank and I'm getting dumb rich, and I'm gonna count it up till 100,
Hello world, I am What Is Study, and today we are doing What If Deku Was the Reincarnation of the Strongest Hero, Season 2, Part 2. Deku now wakes up with Midnight by his side once again. Happy with his life now. He feels full. However, looking into the sunlight as he, slips away from the bed, he gets on his work clothes. Something that would make him seem wiser, as All Might had told him before about how what was his name? Eraserhead, yeah, him, had gotten hurt in the explosion. He was evacuating citizens when he was caught in the explosion trying to come back. He's probably one of the only people that knows that Deku was, what Deku had done that day. Terrified and also hurt from the explosion, he is taking a hiatus. And Deku will now be considered their teacher of Class 1A. Deku gets on his work clothes ready for the day as he looks around the sky, seeing clouds, and yet the blazing sun coming straight through all of them to light up the land, a pathway down his lawn. It's going to be a beautiful day, isn't it? As, we shift over to the villains. Their secret hideout that had now been, relocated to even deeper inside of some sort of mountain. All for one, he was connected to more tubes than ever before, half robot now. After all, he curses the name of the tailed boy that had defeated him. How could a mere boy? Calm down. You're giving me a headache from your loudness. Did I ask for you to tone in, Kirigiri? I asked you to stop calling me that. We have the same quirk, but we're not the same person. It was basically the replacement of Kirigiri. I told you I have my own name, Sama. And I told you that I'll call you Kirigiri as much as I like. Just work with me, all right? I don't expect you to follow me anymore. After all, I got beat by a child. I could take out that child at any second, as he flips up a knife and then catches it at the same. However, a girl comes out and catches it for him. Or I could do it. He says, "No, I have you on a bigger mission. Assassinations are in order. We've been playing easily too long." She says, "I have a plan for dear Deku." At this point, All for One says, "What would that be?" His lady, Midnight. She's about to sleep at this point, wouldn't you say? He trusts her way more than he trusts anybody else. He says, "I look forward to it. Go then. Show me what your capabilities are, Toga." As she leaves and leaves them to discuss their plans for the future. Toga, the most recently evolved one of the League of Villains that was now starting to be correlated. We resume to when Deku is outside the classroom, talking to Midnight about what exactly he plans on doing with his class. He talks about it while walking to the classroom door. He says that he needs to encourage the girls somehow. He already knows how the boys, classic masculinity, challenge them a little bit. However, the girls are more complicated than that. They need a striving goal, somebody that they want. Teenage hormones are so annoying. And she says, I might just have the exact thing. something that I wanted to experiment in bed with. However, he says, it's a love potion, isn't it? She says, yes, basically. He's like, you keep on evolving and I have zero clue how. She says, I have my ways. He says, well, what exactly does it do? The first person that they lay eyes on, they'll basically fall in love instantly. Basically, it's a little bit more corrupted than that, and I had regretted to even tell anybody about it. However, I trust that you'll put it to great use. Plus, you can store it inside of your arm. As he holds up his arm that's made out of basically metal by this point. He can send he can't send any electricity through the wood because it's wood. It's hard to move. He says, yeah, it's only used as a storage space by this point. He can barely move anything on his left arm. He's going to have to check with the engineers just later. She says, I'll schedule it for you. Don't worry about it. As he entered, he says, yeah, okay, I'll deal with it later. As he walks into the class, she's like, she blows a kiss to him saying, good luck. As he's like, yeah, of course. As, he goes up to the podium, he says, hello, class. I will be your new teacher today. My name is Izuku Midoriya. And then everybody, looks up and stops talking as they're like, what? This dude? But you're the same age as us! As, everybody, says this out loud. Deku's like, yes, of course I know that. As, his sleight of hand kicks in where he unlocks the bottle and air starts to flow throughout the whole entire room. He says, however, my goal here isn't to argue with you all day about who should be guiding who. My goal here is to get you to improve. As he flicks his hair back, trying to be as sexily as possible right now. He's like, come on, work, you bastard. As all the boys start to get really, mad. They're all like, what the hell? But you were the guy that was in the race. You didn't even go anywhere. You stayed at the beginning. Why should we listen to somebody that's not as strong as us? And he's like, kick in. But the girls are like, he's so goddamn cute though. As he's like, nice. And then all the girls immediately flood to the front, except Asui, which he expected so because he had already met Asui before and trained her personally. All the girls flood to the front, saying, how each one of them feels. Every single one of them is like, ever since we laid eyes on you, you know what? We love you. Like, no, I want him. No, he's so lovable. He's mine. As, they all flock, in that sort of direction as he's like, girls, calm down. They're like, no, I want him. He's like, I can decipher this for myself. How about a tournament? They're like, a tournament? Of what? Good looks? No, it should be feminine wiles. No, of strength. I respect a girl that's strong. So, whoever is the strongest by the end of this season, I'll go out on a date with. They're like, oh, it's on. As he's like, okay, that was a little bit more effective than I thought it would be. As all the girls, it creates some competition in the room. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was a little bit more than that love juice in the room. Speaking of the love juice, Deku did not expect this. However, as he was staring at, Asui, his love juice kicked into him, and he's like, ah, shit. He's like, this cannot be happening. Fuck. As he's trying to hold himself back, Asui slowly makes her way to the front. As she's like, what's up with the gas in the air? What's up? Why is everybody acting so weirdly? He's like, yes. As he whispers into her ear, as he puts his body closer to her, not realizing it really. However, he just says, that he had puts something in the air to make them love him so that he could create this tournament. She's like, oh, very smart as usual, sir. As he's like, yeah, please go sit down so we can all, start class. Please, you cutie. She's like, what? Nothing. Just go to your seat, please. She's like, okay. Is he okay? As he's like, as you all know, your teammate and surely your friend Bakugo has recently deceased. A moment of silence, please. As everybody calms down and gets back to their seats, Deku says a few words about how Bakugo was his trustful ally and best friend, somebody that he had known for so long and had been bullied by him. He had to understand the best things about him, almost making him commit suicide. Many people were actually quite surprised by this. How could Bakugo do that? After all, Bakugo turned out to be such a normal guy at the end there. I mean, he was becoming like a trustworthy ally, somebody that everybody actually was fine with being on their team. Like, he was a great help and was one of the greatest upcoming heroes. As everybody reflects on this, he says, so, I trust that none of you will make the same mistakes as him. As everybody's like, okay, this is a weird shift. He's like, I'll be working you guys to the bone so nothing like that ever happens again. As he brings up his hand, barely able to control it. He says, well, since my arm has certainly not, helped me in these last few days, I'll need you to be the next, era of superheroes. So I'll work you to the bone. If you dare even give up on one day of your training, you'll die out there. So, for your first day, we'll be getting you your hero suits. Like, basically getting them new hero suits instead of their old ones. So Ida got, basically he has everybody, visit the hero suit lab. Instead of making them do it themselves, he actually takes them down to the lab himself and gets them personally recommended different suits. Asui gets new, cups of water on her side, and also updated slime that basically when she covers herself in it, she can, she can seriously get up to speed. If she takes out the slime and then throws it in front of her, she can basically increase her speed dramatically. This includes with if she's paired with Asui. If Asui's paired with the slime girl, the acid girl. Basically, acid girl has learned how to make non-acid acid, just water. Just throw water basically. So Asui and her have great team composition. Asui is now, much more agile and able to cover the field with water in jars that she uses. Ida, of course, also has the same exact thing, Nitro Boost and bottles on his belt. Basically, everybody gets Batman belts, all right? Everybody gets Batman belts. Because in the field, you can never have too much on you, basically. Also, Asui, Deku is trying to teach the acid girl how to make acid clouds so that she can deteriorate the inside of a villain, making them out of breath and making them much harder for them to move. This is a very advanced technique that he had that Midnight had described to him one drunk and very romantic night about how her quirk works, which was that it's spores on her skin. Basically, she's releasing it from her skin, as the acid girl basically does the same exact thing but secretes water, acid. I mean, so she would just have to do the same exact thing as Midnight, and it works throughout all their training. What was it? Mineta? Yeah, Mineta. He was not affected by the love juice thingy, so he's just like, why are all the girls so horny? Deku's like, I have no idea. And he's like, were you affected by whatever happened too? He's like, nope, not at all. As Midnight's like, weird. I gotta figure out how to get my hands on something like that. He's like, this dude cannot be near Midnight at all. I don't trust him, not one bit. As he just stays far away from Midnight. And then he gets to what I would consider Todoroki, being an asshole and just generally not trusting him because he had beaten him in the race. And he's like, listen, dude, you can't take this out on me just because you're weak. Todoroki's like, oh, you done it now. As Todoroki releases both sides, had not really. Oh, shoot. Deku didn't make Todoroki release. Huh. Okay, well, Todoroki basically is beaten the shit out of because he disrespects Deku in the middle of class. And he's like, okay, you want to disrespect me? Take this outside. As then, Todoroki continuously gets his ass beat. Ice walls ain't gonna do shit against lightning. However, Deku crushes his hand on Todoroki's face because the wood is not enough to punch somebody with how much power that he's giving it. He's like, God damn it. I guess we'll be taking another visit to the labs. As then Todoroki's just like, what the fuck was that? As Deku's like, how about this? You use your fire side and I'll go full power. As Todoroki's like, this is what I'm talking about. As, Deku, of course, again, basically challenging all the males' masculinity makes them more powerful somehow. And Todoroki just blasts Deku with both sides. And Deku says that, oh no, he's defeating me. How could this ever happen? No. As then he throws a lightning ball through the fire and ice that was blasted at him. As the lightning ball that he had been charging up basically that whole entire time just ricochets through all of the ice balls and then just hits Todoroki center mass and knocks him out because there was so much lightning that it just knocked his brain out of whack. So nobody's gonna disrespect Deku no more. So Deku suggested Todoroki that actually he uses both of his fire and ice at the same exact time. If he just uses them differently interspersed, then he's just going to hurt himself. Why not just use both sides at the same exact time on his hands or on his feet so that he doesn't have to either melt the other one or, get rid of the other. So basically, Todoroki learns a new technique of just using his hands or his legs. This decreases power, but it also increases how long he can do it for. Forever. Infinity. He's insane. So basically, Deku continues on to the place that he said he was going to go, the armory, and he also gets himself a new arm. As he meets the girl that's there, who instantly sees him and is like, you want a new arm. He's like, how did you? And she's like, I can tell. I mean, after all, the last one was destroyed in that epic fight. I couldn't help but imagine what you would be better with rocket boots. He's like, I didn't think so because I don't think I need them. She's like, are you so sure? He's like, yes, I can make my feet into lightning. She's like, how do you stay stable in your body? He's like, I can't answer all these questions, kid. And she's like, you're right. As the teacher comes over and smacks her on the head. He's like, I'm sorry for all of her questions. What is it that you need? New arm, as she was suggesting. He's like, oh, good on her then. She's like, yeah, why did you have to hit me? He's like, well, I guess she can take care of you. Actually, you know what? Since it's a special order from you, we'll both take care of it. Deku's like, why, thank you. As Deku starts crafting a new arm. As he has to stay there for the testing, he actually has sparring. Students spar with each other outside while he has his new arm be crafted. And while that happens, I guess I'll be seeing you guys sometime, somewhere. Goodbye.